I think the thing that stood out the most in making the game over 4 years, which was nuts, was having a baby during the making of it. Now, I didn't actually have the baby in the studio, which was,
That's a relief.
But getting bigger and bigger mocap suits as the months went on, and still having a little six-pack in my my mocap little, what do they call it? The Power Ranger, the little Power Ranger that's created that you're looking at when you're doing your mocap thing, and you see someone in your avatar, and that you can choose the colour of every session, which was very nice. They were always in really great shape, which I needed when I was about 9 months pregnant. That was good.
At what point in the 4 years did you give birth? Not midway or sort of at the end, beginning?
Towards the end. It was February 22. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know Devra was also pregnant during her mocap.
Yeah.
Because
Now, she nearly did give birth in studio.
Yes, and we heard about this, yes. Goodness me, what's going on with the cast of Baldur's Gate 3? But I think it is incredible that throughout, something as physically intensive as pregnancy, that you still put in all that performance capture.
They made it so easy. Pitstop and Larian were just amazing. It was the one job that I could rely on through lockdown, through all of this. They were incredible. I was so grateful.
I mean, that is incredible. I mean...
It's really tough because there were so many epic lines in it. And normally what would happen is I would say the epic lines in the studio, and then I'd be on my way home on the train and going, what was that line? I needed to remember that line. And yeah, especially with the insults. I love throwing the insults out. I'd like those. So twit, twat, twerp. That was a favourite. I think because it got the word twat in it. So.
It sounds like a musical theatre warm-up, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
Together with the teeth.
Yeah, Vicious Mockery was amazing. I probably can't say the one that I liked because it's maybe not past the watershed. But the memory that will stay with me, I think, was when Early Access came out, and there was just such a, we all were racing back to get to our computers, and I think Steam went down, and we were all the directors and all the cast were texting each other, and we were just going to different people's Twitch streams and watching people play it after it had been delayed, and we'd had a pandemic, and just seeing people playing a game that for so long had been under wraps was just amazing.
When I left drama school, I really didn't know or have much of a plan of how to pay rent. And my only ambition, or my definition of success leaving drama school was, I want to pay my rent and get a dog with the money I make from acting. And the third month I came out of drama school, the first paycheck for Baldur's Gate came through, and I sent the money off to my landlord, and I took my parents out for a drink, and I bought them a pint for the first time, with money that I made from this. That was really nice.
That's a wonderful, warming story. Did you buy the dog in the end?
No, they're so expensive, man.
What kind of dog would you get, though?
Border Collie, Australian Border Collie. No doubt.
The Border Collie fans are all scattered around the room, but it's good to
We're
have you.
few but strong.
I mean, I did find it strange. I wasn't playing Douchebag 1, but I did get, maybe I was. I do remember, I think one of my finest turns was Dead Drow Raider 1, or maybe just Dead Drow Raider, I can't remember. And the direction from the wonderful Beth Park, who was here on Friday, was, okay, great, let's go for a take. And just sort of heads up, you're dead. And I've never had that note.
No, I can imagine.
Play you're dead. So can we have that? So that's my memory.
In my head, I just imagine that scene of, can you be dead? And you go, okay, and they go, action.
Yeah.
And then they go, cut. I need 10% more death.
George is always saying that Beth gave him a regular note, which was, you have such range, George.
Well, darling,
so was that one?
Darling,
was
darling.
That one on that day?
I think yes. I think we went from Rolan, prestigious, high-ranking mage, to Goblin, to Dead Drow Raider, and she saw just a plethora of range and talent. And it was, I think she said, she compared me to Dame Judi Dench. Yeah.
Now I must. Beth was here on Friday. George told this story. Beth had no idea what he was talking about. He says it so often, actually, in fairness, Beth wonders if it might be true.
You leave Dame George Taylor alone, okay? Let's ignore the bear in the room.
Or bring it back.
Or bring it back.
Because easy.
You wrong uns.
Oh, they're feral. There was like, obviously, there's the you like it. That will always stick with me. But the one that's like brought me so much, the one that's brought me so much joy is ducks. I like ducks. Because I've had nothing but lovely like videos and like pictures of ducks. That's it. Honestly, it's a balm on an otherwise extremely horny timeline.
A lasting memory on Baldur's Gate would be working with everyone at Pit Stop. They were absolutely extraordinary, and all the directors, their ability to hold the whole game for all those years in their heads, and because you don't record chronologically like film work, you record out of sequence. So suddenly you'd have to say, okay, where am I? Who am I talking to? How many people am I talking to? What's in the room? Are we in a forest? Where are we? And they would paint the whole picture for you so you could see it. Because if we can see it, then you guys can see it. It makes our acting more believable if we can visualize it in our heads. So they were astonishing in holding all that detail together for so long. And also a lasting memory for me would be when Larian decided to go on I find, extraordinary journey with Minthara as a character, to make her a recruitable character, to change her look. I think the look they ended up with was, even though I think the first look at Early Access was very sexy, but I also like the current look. I think it works very well with my voice. And so that was very exciting. It was lovely, and a lasting line, therefore, for me, in showing how multifaceted and multi-layered she is, would be her line, it is not soft to love another, it is one of the hardest things a person can do. And for me, that sums up, thank you. It sums up the fact that Minthy is not, I call her Minthy. She's not just a one-dimensional evil killing machine. She is multi-layered, multifaceted, very complex, and has enjoyed building relationships with all the other companions and learning from that. And I'm so a current lasting memory for me. Sorry, rattling on is how much everybody is appreciating that when they play her, and the reaction that I've had and meeting all of you has been just, it's overwhelming. It's in a wonderful way. It's extraordinary. And how much these characters have meant to everybody is something I will treasure and value for the rest of my life. I'll never, ever forget.
Well, round of applause for you.
I think what I remember, it's extraordinary how much things did develop over those years, as Emma's described. And the constant inventiveness, the new things that we were asked to do. The technology even evolved. I remember suddenly there were chips in the gloves so that they could trace the movements of the fingers. So what do you want me to do with those? And you know, you'd suddenly be asked, oh, we've got this idea. We're going to introduce an incubus called Harleb. And I thought, well, what does that involve? Well, Raphael likes to make love with himself. Do you want an intimacy coach present? I said, sorry, what? What are you asking? Who's in the studio with me? Is it just me? Yes, it's just you. But that session was extraordinary. I think it was only one afternoon, about 4 hours, most of which I spent on my knees. you know, that was memorable. And then the other challenge, they said, oh, we want to give Raphael a song. I said, seriously? Hell hath its laws. I said, are you serious? Yeah, he's going to have a song, you know, but we're going to do it as a sort of rap. So I said, well, you know, all right. I'm game for anything. Yeah. And I think we had 1 hour to do it in. We recorded the song in 1 hour. Bobby was down the line from Sofia in Bulgaria. Yes, my friend, yes, we're going to do this. It's going to be wonderful. We're almost ready to go on stage with this. You know, so this whole theatrical experience was crowbarred into the 4.5 years of Baldur's Gate. And it was theatrical. The whole motion capture thing was theatrical. I felt like I was back on stage. You know, because you're suddenly acting in 3 dimensions. Just angle it slightly. You're talking there, but you're speaking to the audience here. So it was certainly theatrical, but it's definitely theatrical when I spent that hour with Bobby. And he said, okay, we do it one more time. We do it one more time. You've nearly got it, the timing, not quite right, but just forget everything I said. We'll just do it. And we just made it within the hour. So, yeah, that was the final straw, I think, for the final act.
When is your album coming out?
Watch this space.
I like the idea of the
A world tour.
We're going to be doing a rap, and you go, that's fine, drop a beat in Raphael's voice.
He has a lot of lines, but they're quite long, but I like the in my name was quite...
I felt that vibrate around the room.
But memory-wise, I think, because I started out quite late compared to some of these guys, and I played Marcus initially. And so I thought that was it, and that was great. It was a fantastic character to play. And then I got the sides through for the companion. And that's all I knew. So I did my audition, got cast, was very nervous, and I got into Pit Stop. And they make you feel so welcome. They're all lovely and everything like that. And there are a couple of guys from Larian, and that always makes me anxious because I want to do a good job. And they're like, oh, this is Scott. Yeah, he's playing the Emperor. And I only knew the companion. So, and then someone else walked by and, oh yeah, oh hi, I'm Scott. Yeah, oh yeah, this is Scott. He's playing the Emperor. And I started to think, what am I playing here? Is this big? And I got into the space, and I said to the sound engineer, oh, this seems like quite good. Is it going to be a couple of sessions? And they went, oh yes. And then they brought up the Avatar. Now you guys, you got the Power Ranger. I was very lucky to have a Mind Flayer avatar, which really, it looks very cool. But and I think you guys might have known this on the streams that we've done. When it first came up, the tentacles were very erect. And yes, so when I do the part, it's basically to keep my chin up. But yes, so I performed all my lines with erect tentacles.
There's a cream for that.
I can't remember any of my lines, and people ask me to. So I've actually written Dark Urge quotes down. I have ADHD and remember very little. I had to watch YouTube and stuff to remember what I had said over those 4 years. But what actually I really find special is the fact that the game is so diverse. The sexuality, the gender is so fluid, and the sort of the neurotypical, my words have gone, neurodivergent, etc. But with someone with ADHD, I said this again on Friday, when I went to Pit Stop, I rarely talk about it to anybody beyond my family. And so at Pit Stop, there was a discussion about the fact that lots of the creatives and people involved in this game have ADHD and many other things. And I think that the audience and the fans of the show, actually that is what is powerful, because it resonates with them. It's not a game that I used to play like Lego Racers, where you go from A to B as quick as you can. there is something that is really powerful about this. And I had no idea what I was a part of for those 4 years. And so the reaction of people, not just their love for the game, but their love for the whole community and how it has changed, from my understanding, so many people's lives. And in being open with Pit Stop about my ADHD, etc., actually I now tell many more people and share that, and I tell workplaces that I go to about it, which is why, you know, I talk so much and why regularly I interrupt you with the microphone, because I have this inability of not just picking up and saying what's in my head. So there is a lot of similarities to the Dark Urge and myself. The voices. Usually I say them out loud. You know, I've said this before. I look at Ed and I say, Ed! And Comic Con, oh, audience. It is really tiring being in my own brain. So anyway, that is actually what I have found really special about this. It is, and it's because of the fans and their reaction to all of those elements of a game that isn't more than a game. It's just an extraordinary world that they have created, Larian created, and I feel very honored and special to be a tiny part of this in a world that it's unusual, I think, for games. Anyway.
Well, that was incredible.